This one we're provided three different equations and three different variables, a, b, and c. So we're asked to solve this one. And we can use any method that we want to. Systems of equations method is going to be the very easiest to try to get these. Now if we take a look here, and we've got several different parts here, we're going to have to solve them all. So if we take a look, we've got a 6a right here, and here we have a negative 6a. So this one's looking actually pretty decent. So just simply combine this first equation and the second equation together. Okay, but first we've got to identify what our major goals are here. The first step is that we want to try to reduce these three different equations with three different variables. We want to try to reduce it to two equations with just two variables. Okay, so let's do that. The way we do that, we're going to look here and try to get rid of these a's. We've got equation 1 and equation 3. So I'm going to combine those two to eliminate my a's. So here are my two equations. Same exact equations, I just rewrote them. I didn't change the value at all. Now, this one I noticed I got a 6a here and a minus 6a here. Those will cancel out. Now I'm going to add each one of these. This is going to be negative 5b plus 3b would be negative 2b. 6c minus 3c would be 3c. And then 16 minus 21 would give me a negative 5. Okay, so I've got that. Now my a's have been eliminated. Now I have one equation with two variables, so I'm on my way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to write it up here just so we have some more room to work with. Okay, so this is the same equation, I just kind of rewrote it up here. We'll need a little bit more room here in just a little bit. Now my next step is, okay, so I've eliminated one of the a's, and I used equations 1 and 3. So now I need to use a different equation. I need to incorporate 2 in here somehow. I can either do 1 and 2, or I can do 2 and 3, and it really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine 2 and 3, and the reason why I'm going to combine 2 and 3 is just a little bit easier. I see that I've got a 5 and a negative 6 here. I can just multiply this one here by 6 and this one by 5. I don't have to multiply by any negatives there. So it might make it a little bit easier. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply equation number 2 here by 6. And the reason why I'm doing 6, the lowest one that I can go with 5 and 6 would be 30. In order to get 30, I'm going to have to multiply this entire equation here by 6 and this bottom one here by 5. So I'm going to multiply equation number 2 by 6 and equation number 3 by 5. And that will give me my positive 30 and my negative 30. So let's do that now. Okay, equation number 2, I multiplied each part here by 6. 5a times 6 gives me 30a. Negative 2b times 6 gives me negative 12b. 5c times 6 gives me 30c. Then I've got 22 times 6 gives me 132. Now I'm going to multiply this second equation here by 5, each component. So the 6a by 5, the 3b by 5, and the negative 3c, as well as the negative 21 by 5. And so I did that here. I combined all those, and if you'll notice right here, my a's, I've got a positive 30a and a negative 30a, so those will cancel, those will be gone. And that's what I'm wanting to do. I need to reduce this to two different equations with just two variables. I've eliminated my a in this top equation. Now I'm going to eliminate my a's here. Okay, so if we're going to add both of these, I've got negative 12b plus 15b should be a 3b. 30c minus 15c will be positive 15c. And then 132 minus 105 would be simply 27. So you'll notice here my a's have canceled. I've got b's and c's, which is what I have here. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to rewrite this way up top here again. So now I have these two equations. And these two equations are what my first primary goal was. It's to reduce it to two equations with two variables. So I just did that. The reason why we do this, and we've been doing these for a while, now we've got two equations with two variables. We can solve these two by combining them. Now the way that we'll combine these, you can choose to eliminate your c's first or your b's first. It doesn't really matter. On this particular one I chose to eliminate my b's first. And the way that I'll do that, I need to find my twins, if you will. I need to find the same b value on top and bottom, except one needs to be positive and the other negative. So right here, 2 and 3, my least one is going to be 6. That means I'm going to multiply the top equation by 3 and the bottom equation by 2. Okay, so I'm going to multiply everything on top by 3 and everything on bottom by 2. So if I multiply everything on top by 3, that will yield me negative 6b plus 9c minus 15. And if I multiply everything on bottom by 2, that would yield me 6b plus 30c plus 50, equals 54. Now I've got my b's, and you notice I have one positive and one negative, so I can get rid of my b's, and that was my goal. And I add these two together. This is 9c and 30c will give me a 39c. And 54 and negative 15 gives me 39. So 39c equals 39. I divide both sides by 39. I find out that C equals 1. Okay, so I found one of the variables. Now I've got to try to find the rest of them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this C value that I have, and I'm going to plug in 1, because that's my value for C in order to find B. And I'm going to use these two equations right here because these don't have any A's with them. And you can choose either equation, it really doesn't matter. I chose to use the first one just because it was the first one listed. So I rewrite the first one. This time though, instead of writing C right here, I'm going to plug in 1 because I know my value for C, it's 1. Now all I'm going to try to do is solve this one for B. Okay, so I've got negative 2b plus 3 equals negative 5. I'll need to move my 3 over to the other side, so I'll subtract 3 from both sides. If I do that, I get negative 2b equals negative 8. Now I need to divide both sides by negative 2, which will find out that b equals 4. Now I'm really sitting pretty good. I found my C value, I've found my B value. All I need to do is find my A value, and I'm done with this. Now on this particular one, we're going to take this one and we're going to rewrite an original equation. Any one of these three will work just fine. The reason why we're going to find an original equation is because I need to find my A values. I need to have something with an A in it. So I know my C and I know my B, and I'm going to plug those in. So I rewrite my original equation. I chose the first one here. 6a minus 5b plus 6c equals 16. I chose that one. And you could have chosen either one of those three is fine. Now that I have that, I'm going to take and I'm going to plug in 4 for B and 1 for C. Okay, so here's my 4 for B and my 1 for C. And now it's just a matter of simplifying this. Negative 5 times 4 would give me 20. And 6 times 1 would give me 6. Once we've got that, we can go to the next step, which is to simplify it a little bit further. Negative 20 plus 6 is negative 14. Now what I need to do is move my 14 onto the other side. So I add 14 to both sides. 6a is equal to 30. If I divide both sides by a, I find out that a equals 5. Now I've identified all three of them. A equals 5, b equals 4, and c equals 1. So I'm going to kind of just rewrite that over here just where I have a little bit of room. So a equals 5, b equals 4, and c equals 1. Now the way that we'll end up writing this one, especially on the online system, is with parentheses. We'll go open parentheses and then my a value, comma, my b value, comma, my c value. Remember that these are all in alphabetical order. So here's my a value, my b value, and then my c value. And you'll use them with parentheses, no spaces in between.